chant rings out around Celtic Park for LUBO, the Slovakian footballing magician the Celtic supporters adore. This, they know, is no ordinary footballer, but one who'll go down in Celtic folklore as a genius whose inventiveness and goal-scoring ability helped win a glorious treble and made the dream of a return to the Champions League come true. For 3 years now, LUBO has held Scottish football spellbound with spectacular goals, inch-perfect passes and more tricks than David Copperfield. Yet when he checked into paradise from the German side, MSV Duisburg, in a £300,000 deal, few could have predicted that they would be watching one of the greatest talents to pull on the hook jersey. One man, though, knew all about him, Dr. Joseph Venglos, who'd seen LUBO grow from a skinny kid to a national hero in his homeland, and a player who would go on to grace the soccer fields of Europe. It's an enthralling story, and one to inspire a new football generation. Once or twice a year, LUBO returns to Slovakia, a country which regained its identity when Czechoslovakia split in 1993. His home is in the hills above Nitra, a city of some 600,000 people, an hour from the capital of Bratislava. It's from there that he visits his family and friends. Nitra is where this remarkable football odyssey began, a journey catalogued every step along the way by his proud mother, Veronica, who treasures the mementos of a professional career spanning nearly 2 decades.
Always, my heart is always in Nitra, especially in Slovakia, because it's my country, and Nitra is really big part of my career. What was really important. Always, I am very happy to get back and see people who was working with me and enjoy and spend a couple of times together. It's always very enjoy time. I played here from 11 until 25. I spent a long time in this club, especially my end of the career in Nitra was very successful because we played the Premier League. We were qualified for a UEFA Cup. I think I have got very good memory about this club because it's really my club where I started my career.
His dad, Jan, also played for Nitra, a member of a side which gained promotion to the Premier League, a feat emulated by LUBO some 20 years on.
My dad played here in the 50s for the club. Historically, he was the first who with his team was promoted in the Premier League in Czechoslovakia. It was this team was very important for in history the club. For that, also my orientation in the sport was influenced after my father. It was one biggest club in the region. For that, I was very proud to come and to play for this club. Here is the ground where I used to play for the Nitra youth team, where I made my first steps in the football. Here I started also my first competition. It's really something very important in my career because here I start to learn about everything about football, every skills, and I spent a lot of time here from between 11 and 18 years old. Every day I came here, I was training in this ground.
Then, at just 18, LUBO was introduced to the first team, and over the next 7 years he thrilled the people of Nitra.
It was not so big ground than in Celtic Park, but 10,000 people, it's different than play before 100 people. But always I think my football was a little bit spectacular, and play before 10,000 people was always exciting for me, and it pushed me to play better and better. Football was very important for the people in the communist country, because they had never really problem with the work, and come to stadium was really a pleasure, and I think now it's football a little bit different, because people start to have a lot of problem in the private life. But before football in communist country was really important. We had everything to make enjoy and play well, and show our best, and make happy people.
He was something like magic boy, because on this age he know how to play. He has very good, not experience. He has something gift from the God. The God gave him on his brain, on his legs, and he play very nice football. The people like it. In the Nitra, everybody is very happy that LUBO is from Nitra, and everybody looking for him when he play anywhere in the Europe, in the French or in Scotland, and also everybody looking for him if he play in the national team. And he's a good man with big heart, and if somebody see him in the Nitra and somebody can have chance to speak with him, it's very nice for all of us.
Nitra today is very different to the city LUBO grew up in under communist rule, but he stands by the advice of his father, who was not a party member, on how he should lead his life.
In communist country was important, good school for life after football, because during the football was good, was nice play football, but was not really like in capitalist country where footballers was paying much better. For that, my father tried to explain to me how important is school for me. I was listening to him, and for that I made my choice: go to school, go to university, and continue during the football. Also go to school. I went to agriculture university, where I was studying. I finished diploma agronome in the agriculture. I didn't have really a lot of choice, because I wanted to stay with my family, and in Nitra we had just two kind of the university for the finish like agronome or like a teacher. But I couldn't go for the teacher, because school for the teacher, because I had a different kind of school before. For that, my choice was just one. I had just one choice: go to agriculture university. I think my dad always tried to explain to me to be polite in the life. It's something what doesn't cost a lot of money. For that, to be modest, it's my natural personality. It's not really. I don't play modest, because I came from the condition modest. For that, it's normal. My attitude it's like that. Even I got now financial better situation than before when I was in my country. But I think I try to. Don't change and still be what I was when I lived in Slovakia.
LUBO had played only 2 seasons for Nitra, combining training and playing with his studies, when the call came to join the Czechoslovakian international squad.
When I played the Premier League in Czechoslovakia, was dominated by Sparta Prague. In national team, most of the players came from Sparta Prague. The rest of the team was the players from the foreigners teams, like St. Pauli Bundesliga or PSV Eindhoven Dutch team. And I was just one player who was playing regular from the Slovakian club. For that, I have to say was little bit. I have to say again, was a little bit like a miracle to leave from the small team and play really international level.
And after just 3 years of playing for the national side, LUBO experienced the ultimate in international football, taking part in the 1990 World Cup finals in Italy. It was to be a time of mixed emotions, for although the team reached the quarter-finals of the championship against eventual winners Germany, he was sent off. However, as we'll soon discover, there was a silver lining to that particular cloud. 1993 was a momentous year in the lives of the Slovakian people when Czechoslovakia split in 2. Slovakia regained its own nationality with the new administration based in Bratislava, and it also brought about the birth of the national football team, and their local hero, Lubomir Moravcik, was asked to lead them into uncharted waters.
Zdravím vás. Dobrý. Jaký jste fešáci? Všetci ste.
On a warm summer's evening at the ground of Slovan Bratislava, the new national team poses for a picture the night before facing Iran in a friendly. LUBO arrived unannounced, and the reaction of his former colleagues and the young players new to the squad only serves to show the high regard in which he's held in his homeland.
They are my colleagues, but also my friends, and I've got also contact with them even outside of football. For that, it's always nice see again the friends. Also, I think I played long time for national team. I think I had important role in the national team. When I come back, see any people who is in national team, it's a special moment for everyone.
And where better for LUBO to recall his feelings the first time he led Slovakia on home soil.
What was very special game was my first game here against Croatia. We played home game and people came to support us. A lot of people came, but I was feeling in this moment. I was feeling for my father because he was not here. He died before, and I think I was feeling about him. I was sure if he was there, he was really proud of me. And honestly, I almost cry this moment, especially when I heard the first really new Slovakian hymn. I think it was a really great moment.
And of course, LUBO led by example, scoring a wonderful goal in a 4-1 victory, watched by the man who would ultimately make him a Celt.
Dr. Wengers was first coach after separation with Czech Republic, and he was also the special day because Dr. Wengers was also my first coach in the Czechoslovakian team. For that was a very special, really special moment again to work with him. But now just for different country, no anymore Czechoslovakia, but Slovakia.
A znova naši. Moravčík, výborně! To byla fantázia!
V 15. minutě ale ukázal Moravčík, jaký je hráč. Jeho měkký centr poslal tvrdě z Kuhraví do sítě. 1-0.
Po štítu Roberta Tomášeka sa zapájali všetci do útoku. Jozef Majoroš získal stratenú loptu a po osi Vladimír Kinder, Ľubomír Moravčík.
Unfortunately, success was difficult to attain for the new Slovakian side, although LUBO contributed some trademark goals and passed on his vast experience to the young players.
V 9. minutě 3-0.
But after 7 years of giving his all for the cause, he departed the national scene. LUBO Moravčík, however, is a fiercely patriotic man, and sitting watching his home team in action against Iran, he could see hope for the future. Slovakia started the match with strikers aged just 18 and 19, and they both scored in the 4-3 defeat. Ultimately, his ambition is to take charge of such talent and lead his nation again.
It's my dream to be a national coach. That's all. How captain and after to be coach, it's I think it's a little bit similar responsibility and it's something very excited for me to help Slovakia go through and be qualified for something. I think it's really exciting target.
But before LUBO pursues that ambition, there will hopefully be more great Celtic victories and trophies to celebrate, with magic Moravcik moments along the way. It will be a fitting finale to a career which has thrilled supporters everywhere he's played. France was his first destination after the World Cup showcase of 1990. His talent had been recognised by the management of Saint Etienne, a side longing to return to the glory days which took them to the European Cup final in 1976 at Hamden against Bayern Munich.
When I met president of the club, he was talking to me about he was really he had a big ambition to become again a big club in France like 20 years or 10 years ago, because last title Saint Etienne won in 1981. After 10 years he tried to bring the players to get back success. For that he said he was looking a long time for the players like me, and because in France we called my position number 10 playmaker, who's going to organize attacks in the team. I was very pleased to be chosen for this role, because I heard about Saint Etienne. It's a big club where played a lot of good players. They played the 76 final in Hamden against Bayern. Also they had 10 titles, and there played also Platini, who was my hero when I was young. For that I was very pleased to move to Saint Etienne.
LUBO was to spend 7 seasons at Saint Etienne, the last of them as club captain. It's not widely known, but his fierce loyalty to his fellow players and the club's supporters at the Stade Geoffroy Guichard, who idolised him, cost him the ultimate prize in Europe. Marseille had seen LUBO as their top priority and tried to prize him away at the beginning of their successful 92-93 European Cup campaign, during which they eliminated Rangers in the group stages. But despite a concrete bid from Bernard Tapie, LUBO stayed put. In hindsight, not moving is a decision he regrets.
I think now, after this event, I think if it's now my son in the same situation, I tell him go. But I don't regret staying in Saint Etienne. But this was a different situation, because I was under contract. People really liked me. I was one of the heroes in the club, and it was difficult to move, especially the club was really generous. They offered me a very good contract and security for my family. I was 27. I signed until 32. Everything was okay. President really liked me, and for that I refused this offer, because I was not alone to decide. But later on I was wrong, because later on everything showed me was a bad decision. But anyway, what I said now, it's a different situation. When I said my son is in this situation, I tell him go, because for career, especially when I was 27, was really moment to move the big club.
Now, if LUBO had been involved in that team, I have no doubt whatsoever that LUBO would be playing in Juventus or playing wherever, Real Madrid or Barcelona. I have no doubt about that at all. That I think was the bit that where it went slightly wrong for him, through no real fault of his own, because he's that good.
However, Marseille's loss was Saint-Étienne's gain, as LUBO continued to weave his magic until the summer of 1997. But not even that was enough to preserve the club's top-tier status. The prospect of playing in a lower division held little appeal for LUBO, and he asked to be released from his contract. Ironically, a second approach from Marseille followed, but this time a change of coach led to a change of mind, and the silky Slovakian, at the age of 31, headed for Bastia on the French island of Corsica.
Bastia came and said, come to play for us, because we need you, and we want really you, because nobody can believe you come to Bastia, but I think you'll be right when you come to Bastia. I said okay. I signed a 1-year contract. I left for holiday, and when I came back I was really surprised how people was delighted to see me there, and almost people couldn't believe I'm here. I'm there. I came to play for Bastia. For me, it was really something like big pushing to the maximum for this club. My pre-season was I was running all pre-season, no 100%, 120%, honestly, I don't gave everything disappointed these people, and I think my start in the season and also club and team was brilliant, very good team spirit, very good atmosphere, and we started very well. I think this 3 months before when I was I got the injury, I played my best football ever.
LUBO's only season there was blighted by injury, and when the coach, Frederic Antonetti, left for Japan, LUBO had a decision to make: stay at Bastia or move to Germany and MSV Duisburg. He chose the latter, but it didn't really work out, and again LUBO was facing a dilemma. But then fate intervened and led him along a path he hadn't contemplated taking, one for which all Celtic supporters now give thanks.
I had two choices: go away from the club or finish my career. Because I was 33, I said, what is the risk? I go to finish career, nothing. It's a little bit normal in my age, but I feel I can play a good level. And I had the offer also from Japan, but they didn't find deal with Duisburg, and just a couple days later Dr. Wengler was calling to me, and he came see me to Bratislava when we play against Portugal. And also Jock Brown was there, and we were talking about my eventual transfer to Celtic. I had the feeling everything is okay, I can move. I knew it's big responsibility face to Dr. Wengler, because I knew he had a little bit difficult situation in the Celtic, because after elimination in the Champions League, he looked for players to bring hopes, win Scottish League. For that I accept that, because I got very good relationship with Dr. Wengler, and I came to Celtic.
You know, we had some problems in midfield, we had some problems in defense when we had many injured players, but he's a player with huge adaptation. He's able to play in many positions, but mostly he's a skillful player. He's reading the game well, and he's able to play in many positions. But of course, I know his abilities, I know his qualities, and I am sure and he's able to improve our squad, and he will be a good player for our club. I think his creativity and to bring some surprising moves and penetration passing and so on. It was always his strong point when he played for a national team and when he played in France. For that reason, he came over here, and I hope he will be able to adapt very quickly. Of course, to a little bit different style as we are playing here, but his experience and his quality, I think it will be benefit for our team.
I was asked to take LUBO about and show him the stadium and whatever, and I knew within 5 minutes, having seen the stadium and walked about, that he wanted to play for Celtic. And obviously because of Joseph's connection with him and the respect he had for him, and that wasn't going to be hard to seal.
I think everybody, especially who is interested about football, has to know Celtic. Yeah, I knew Celtic because I like football. I was always interested about football, and when I came, I saw first time stadium. I said, I heard about Celtic, but I couldn't imagine how big is Celtic, and definitely first touch with the club was brilliant, because the stadium was already for 60,000 people, and I said to Eric Blaga, I can't play bad. I can't play bad because it's 60,000 people. I was confident to play good. Maybe not really confident to play good, but I was confident to give everything for this club and everything to get success.
And coming into the side for the first time, LUBO Moravcik, Slovakian international. I've seen him play often on the continent, a very useful player. But whether he can take the heat off the Celtic team at the moment remains to be seen.
The media made unkind comments about LUBO's age and apparent lack of top-flight experience. But for just £300,000, Celtic had pulled off one of the club's greatest ever transfer heists.
And does show you the kind of player he is, a midfield aggressive player who can come up like this, sees an opportunity, and it was well guided, just not hard enough. You get the impression this is a set of players with the pressure right off them. Moravcik has a reputation of being excellent in these situations with the free kicks. Of course, that adds to Celtic's repertoire in midfield.
I was happy to go play first time before this big crowd where 60,000 people come to see me to play, us to play, and when I went to the ground, I was really excited to show my football, and well, I said I was not scared. I was really happy to be there and play on this stadium.
Then, just 2 weeks later, the decibel levels soared to heights he'd never experienced before as LUBO made his Old Firm debut. Seldom has there been a more devastating entry into one of the most highly charged atmospheres in world football. Time and again he fired perfect balls through, soared off on runs that tormented his opponents, and in the end scored 2 memorable goals in an astonishing match. By the end of it, the man from Nitra had captured the hearts of the Celtic faithful.
I can't remember really every details what was before game, but what I know, I was a little bit nervous. A long time before I didn't feel so big pressure than this day, because this game was a little bit like my first game for national team, something like that, if I can compare with how important was this game for me. I think when game started, I was playing up front. I wasn't good really. every balls were a little bit busy, and I couldn't really keep the ball, and just came this ball. I took opportunity and I scored a goal.
And coolly played out by Stubbs to O'Donnell. It's a good one by Simon Donnelly. In for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! 12 minutes gone, and Josef Vanglas, his fellow Slovakian, leads the applause. A superb finish, and Celtic's decision to push Moravcik up front pays dividends. Donnelly to Boyd. Simon Donnelly goes again looking for the ball back. In for resets. Cleared by Perini. It's well won by Alan Stubbs. Top line is onside. Number 2 for Moravcik. 4 minutes of the second half gone. This so-far match is turning into an unbelievable dream for LUBO Moravcik. Picked out.
Were you aware of the noise?
Yeah, but I think now I really realize it's what's happened now. When I sometimes can see this picture about this game and these goals, but this day I didn't really. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to do that. For that I couldn't show what I was really feeling.
He's since had plenty of opportunities to express his joy. 6 weeks after LUBO arrived at Celtic Park, another little-known player entered, courtesy of Dr. Joe. Mark Viduka, the Australian international of Croatian descent, scored a vast number of goals during his time at the club. He says LUBO was a dream to play beside.
Then I watched, before I came to Celtic, I watched the Rangers game, Celtic Rangers at Celtic Park when Celtic won. I think it was 5-1. And LUBO got a couple there, and I thought, who's this bloke? He's a good player. And when we came, he speaks Slovak and I speak Croatian, so it's he didn't really speak English at that time, and we sort of communicated together, and we got to know each other, and we went on from there. I think he knew where to pass the ball, especially for me as a striker. He was a great crosser of the ball, and scored a few goals from his crosses and through balls. I think he was good at. He had very good vision. He still has very good vision, and he really knows how to play the ball.
Here's the challenge. Now, I think he was folding the back of his leg. This may be a serious injury.
LUBO's season was cut short, just at the very time the team needed him most in trying to mount a challenge to Rangers in the league. A hamstring pull towards the end of a 7-1 victory away at Motherwell put him out of action for 3 months. He returned in a bid to lift the Scottish Cup, but it was not to be. He had, though, in his 17 appearances, shown the Celtic public what he had to offer, and they waited eagerly for more.
He's the best player I've ever had the opportunity to work with or play with, I would have to say, because I've never ever seen anybody as technically gifted as LUBO. Whether it be his right foot or his left foot, you can't tell the difference. His technique in striking the ball, his technique in his delivery, his mentality, his desire to win, has everything. And I only wish that when we get hold of him when he was 26 and not 33.
Artistry of the man in midfield, something the punishing finishing of him and the penalty area. He certainly deserves that for the individual contribution he's made. As Celtic now robbed away So free kick, rather edgy looking one-on-one defence there. You've really got to form that ball and give Stevie Wood a chance as well, and that's gone in! Moravcik off the post, so you cannot get a more finely judged free kick than that when you've got the edge of the post to aim for, and he did it, and Celtic are back in the lead. This is a man who, when he arrived at Parkhead, was dismissed as a 30-something mid-European, almost fit for the scrap heap. Well, I think Celtic have found a gold nugget in there, as witness the way he can take these danger wherever a free kick is awarded in and around that area.
It was almost inevitable that Lubo's mentor, Dr. Vendlos, would leave the club after a trophyless season. But Lubo was very much in the club's plans, and the new campaign, with John Barnes now in charge, started well. A 5-0 away win at Aberdeen, followed by a 3-0 win at home against St Johnstone. And it continued to bubble along until a calamitous night in Lyon, when Celtic went out of the UEFA Cup and lost the services of Henrik Larsson. But still, Lubo was producing virtuoso shows, and in December he went on a scoring spree, sparked by a quite sublime solo run and curling finish in a 4-0 Parkhead crushing of Hibs that saw him claim a double.
Wonderful goal by one of the most skilled players in the country. Well, 2 or 3 times he's taken on the defenders like that, going one way and then suddenly the little pirouette, almost balletic, and icily cool the way he eventually disposed of it. Glorious goal after 29 minutes. Well, we're seeing again 3 players left turning, not knowing what was happening. Yobi. Laberkovic, Yobi, good play, Viduka coming in and goal! Can he chip it over? Yes! Moravcik putting it in eventually. Great play, and the real powerful surge there by Viduka paid off. But notice he kept control well, and he stoops to conquer. Moravcik second, and we've gone 14 minutes into the second half. Here we are again.
One up for Aberdeen at the moment. Zed Ali holds possession, looks for reinforcements alongside him, his fellow countryman Belabed. Driven in low by McAllister. Back from Winters. Losing possession in a promising area. And now Celtic do the attacking with Moravcik. Away from White, away from McAllister, and away from Leighton. That's superb from Moravcik, and that's 3 for Celtic. Started the season so well, his form then dipped, and now he's back to his best. The Celtic supporters rise to Lubo Moravcik. Delicious skill and a ferocious shot. Celtic hope they can hold on to him for another season, and when you see ability like this, you can understand why. The points are now secure for Celtic, surely, after one of the goals of the season. Tabili, Berkovic, first time pass for Viduka. It's Moravcik with number 3, perfectly timed run into the box, wonderful finish, and now 4 goals in 3 games for the Slovakian. 3-1
Celtic. 16 minutes gone in the second half.
Strikes and the wins over Aberdeen and Dundee United followed, but trouble was looming at the club, and it came to a head with the shocking defeat by Inverness Caledonian Thistle in the Scottish Cup and the sacking of John Barnes. From that lowest point, things, as they say, could only get better. And indeed they did. Just 8 days later, LUBO popped up with a goal which propelled Celtic into the CIS League Cup final.
That's such a clever ball this time. McNamara, good run by Celtic. Viduka just inside him. That's going wide. Oh, it's a great goal! Moravchik. What a beautifully judged header that was. It was elaborately structured, the header. He looked at it very carefully and then almost picked his spot.
Well, it's a beautiful ball to the back post by Jackie McNamara. Now, he hasn't been in the game a great deal. That header is absolutely inch perfection. He uses the speed of the ball, he just directs it. Absolutely perfect.
Well, we did say earlier, Alan, that he had the ability to turn the game out of nothing, and he did it there.
But I'll tell you something, Archie, this actually comes from a free kick. You can see Kelly just about to get elated, obviously, but that came from a commando free kick from Tosh McKinley, striking the ball, trying to get it to a striker, intercepted by Alan Stubbs. McNamara going down the right hand side, a good ball in. And Moravchik, well, we give him a bit of stick for not having a good free kick, but his header was absolutely perfect.
Seconds remaining. Referee looking at his watch, it's all over. Celtic are heading for the 23rd League Cup final.
Then the 2-0 triumph over Aberdeen in the final at Hampden marked a milestone in LUBO's long career.
Viduka. Tantalising ability he has to get it over. Well, that ball played beautifully in there by Viduka, and Johnson was hovering right in the middle.
Brilliant play by Viduka, superb ball and great defending.
Played down, that's it! Reset! Open to scoring for Celtic. Suddenly popping up in the penalty area. The defender coming in, an auxiliary attacker, and Leighton is annoyed that he was left totally exposed. That ball played in there by Bikos. Viduka picks up. Here's Tommy Johnson. Can he finish it off? He does! That should be it. One quick break by Johnson and he slides it home. And it was always going to be dangerous as soon as he lost possession, when he did. And Viduka picked it up there.
Well, initially you thought Viduka had lost possession. A lovely ball through. Good support by Tommy Johnson. And I said at the beginning, you probably couldn't believe he was in the final in the first place. A good, cool finish. Jim had certainly cut the near post off, but there was a big gap at the back post. Manages just to stay on side and no more, Tommy. And a very clinical finish.
And today we've seen the best and most positive as the final whistle goes. Celtic, having won just 10 in the last 22 finals in the League Cup, improved that record considerably, and there's one of the man.
My personal performance was I won my first medal in my career, where I scored a very important goal in Hampden Park against Kilmarnock. We went through to League Cup final. I won my first, I think was in the new millennium, first medal for Celtic for me. I started well in new millennium, and I think this was just really small satisfaction for me.
In all, LUBO scored 9 goals in his second season and set up many more, but the best was yet to come.
Himself, and he does! It's there! Wonderful goal by Moravcik! You could sense he was going for it himself, and it paid off, and no wonder they're erupting. At one stage in the game, it looked as if it was getting beyond him. And look at the way he curls it as well. It's got pace, it's got swerve, and Celtic got 2-1 up. An incredible ending to this game. And the Celtic pressure is now beginning to develop a pace. You just feel him encroaching more and more into the Hearts half. Yobi, Viduka. Oh, what a goal! Moravcik. Again, it looked quite impossible for Moravcik to turn in that space with so many defenders. And the question arises, why did the goalkeeper not move a muscle?
But Aberdeen lacking any sort of attacking ideas. Celtic couldn't have wished to have seen more of possession. Craney for Berkovic. And Stephen Craney again. Moravcik this time on the right foot. It's a blunder by Jim Leighton, and it presents LUBO Moravcik with Celtic's second goal. Well enough hit from Moravcik, but it shouldn't have been a problem. It bounced back off the chest of Leighton, then hit his glove, spun back over his shoulder, and Leighton was beaten. Reset, beat Winters without too many problems. Now Moravcik. No chance for Jim Leighton this time. Celtic unstoppable in this first half, and this just about sums it up. Solberg beaten with so much ease, and then Jim Leighton was left to admire the shots. 3-0, a minute left in the first half.
Thank you very, very much for waiting in the rain. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's an absolute honour for me to be the manager here. I'm telling you that now. It's an absolute honour. Honestly, it is an honour. And at the end of the day, I will do everything I possibly can to bring some success here to the football.
It's another season, and the third new manager in as many years for LUBO. But this time the right man had been chosen. Martin O'Neill, a lifelong Celtic supporter with the club in his blood, promised he'd give everything to restore the glory years. But even in their dreams, few could have imagined his impact, leading within a year to a glorious treble and qualification for the Champions League. The manager inherited LUBO, who'd signed an extension to his contract towards the end of the previous season. He didn't know too much about him, but it didn't take long to join the fan club.
Well, my first real meeting with LUBO was actually in a pre-season friendly game in Leipzig, when LUBO was asked to play sort of a wing-back role, and I knew that perhaps he wasn't capable of doing that. I just didn't expect him not to do any running whatsoever. But and I did have a few words with him in the dressing room at the end of the game, saying that his work rate would need to improve somewhat if he was going to play a major part in the team. Thankfully, LUBO didn't understand a word I was saying, and didn't take it to heart. It was, I suppose, some weeks later when he had got rid of the suspension that was hanging over his neck for the opening couple of games of that season, that we started to get to know the real Lubo Moravcik, a simply sensational player, two of the best feet you'll ever see in European football, if not the world, and there are not many players of that ilk, of that ability in European football.
Lambert tries his luck, finds Larsson. Good interplay between Larsson and Sutton again as he goes for the return ball. Chance for Moravcik! And Celtic lead. 36 minutes it's taken, but finally the deadlock is broken. And Moravcik, who's been as dangerous as any of the Celtic players in the opening period, deserving the goal.
Yes, very delicate play there. Excellent pass from Larsson into the path of Moravcik, who finished competently. He didn't strike it with his usual venom, but he got enough on it and it went through the legs, I think, of Lamborel and into the net. But Celtic were deserving that goal. It was coming for a while, but it was a soft one, I think, when eventually it did come.
Now Sutton. Wonderful through ball as well. Moravcik. That is a stunning goal. Made by Sutton. Executed by Moravcik. And Celtic finally get a second.
Yes, it's passes like that that make Sutton worth his transfer fee. Not only goal scoring but goal creating, and the most two-footed player in Britain, in my opinion. Moravcik, doesn't matter either foot, he dispatched it brilliantly with his left foot into the far corner. Great goal by Lubo Moravcik. Terrific pass from Sutton.
The season started brightly for Lubo, 2 goals in Luxembourg against Jeunesse Desch, and then this one against Hearts in the first away game of the season, illustrating perfectly his ability to play in the hole behind the two strikers.
Here's Moravcik going around the outside. Yeah, it is. That does it. He took that so well just when Hearts were getting back into the game. The counter-attack, gaps in the Hearts defence. They had a lot of work to do even though they had possession. They kept it well. Good combination here between the pair of them. But look what he had to do yet. Remarkable how composed he kept himself, because that was a really superbly taken goal. 4-1. 17 minutes into this half. And Celtic may have dispelled what may have been any suggestion of a Hearts comeback.
And what strikers to play behind. Henrik was fit again, and Chris Sutton had been brought in to devastating effect. Who will ever forget the staggering 6-2 mauling of Rangers, which well and truly started the O'Neill bandwagon off and rolling towards the treble. Step forward, Lubo, the provider.
Does change. Whatever the circumstances, these two sets of supporters can summon up such an intimidating atmosphere as is equalled nowhere else in the footballing world. This will be a real test for Rangers in the air. He's knocked out. Larsson tries to go there and Sutton has scored. 50 seconds gone. What a baptism. In the right place at the right time. And Parkhead has exploded. Well, even he could not have imagined in his wildest imaginations that he would score thus early. Moravcik. Monaco, this is second one. Petrov. No covering at the far post. And the young Bulgarian given a gift. And no wonder the Rangers defenders are looking at him. Look at the way he crept in there. And that proved it again. There's an enthusiasm about this Celtic team which is exceeding perhaps even this man's expectations. Better Ridley
I think this game is important because it really tests for the team how is his form, and we showed we got good form and good determination. We were ready for the challenge after I can say bad season. We start very well, and this game was important really to know where we are with the new team, and we did well. We scored the 6th goal, and I think was very important also for our confidence and for rest of the season.
If he is now to be used sparingly in domestic football in his final season, then the European stage remains the one LUBO was born to play on. After HJK Helsinki had been seen off in the UEFA Cup, the Hoops faced high flyers Bordeaux. A 1-1 draw in France provided the perfect platform for another moment of LUBO magic.
And Moravcik has scored! A brilliant finish from Moravcik! And Celtic have what could be an all-important goal.
It was a special goal for me because you know, I left from France 2 years ago, and I got older, even older. I think it was important because everyone watched in France, and everyone knew me before what kind of the player I was. It was important to show them I'm still here, I'm still a good player. I really put people again to remember Moravcik is still playing and is still doing well.
Unfortunately, Bordeaux hit back and the European bid was over, but it had been another step forward along the learning curve. That goal was one of 4 LUBO scored in consecutive games in November, and he added another before the winter break.
Tries to put it in, rifle, it's there! Moravcik. Well. Suddenly the youngster slept. Again, we had praised him so much. He let Moravcik get away, and that finishes it. Credit to LUBO Moravcik for creeping in at the back. And a touch of rawness there from the youngster. Ball watching, and they suffered.
That's right, but that's always a good delivery between the goalkeeper and the last defender, and he hesitates, doesn't he, and in goes Moravcik and says thank you very much.
Thompson's had an effective game at that left-hand side, picking out Moravcik with great accuracy. That's all! Oh, what a goal! Oh. For a moment, I thought that was going to hit the post, or that the goalkeeper would have got to. No wonder he's delighted. In actual fact, nobody does that better than he. Well, Alan Main may be asking himself the question, ought I to have got to that? But you've got to give it to the quality of the ball played into goal, and Celtic go 3 up with 7 minutes of this half remaining. Look at the way it fairly whistled in. I think Main was deceived by the way the ball just kept going.
Ryan Thompson having a look at the penalty box. Sutton and Larson and Mjalby and Valhanen all waiting. Headed away by Severin. On the left foot of Moravcik! 2-1 Celtic. 10 minutes left in the first half. He's played against Hearts 3 times this season, Moravcik, and now he's scored in each of the games. That's his 7th goal of the season.
There's Moravcik. through, good play, Johnson. Now Petrov on the run, just beyond, and that's it. Beautifully struck by Moravcik, the equaliser. Dunfermline left, woefully exposed on the right-hand side, acknowledges the adulation of the crowd there. Now this had to be kept down. Good run by Petrov. This is an excellent ball across the face of the goal. Now that's not the easiest of chances. I've seen a lot missed from that. But he kept it simply well low, drilled into the corner.
The new year saw the club go from strength to strength. According to LUBO, one of the greatest contributing factors was Martin O'Neill's buying policy throughout the season.
Especially coach brought some new players, like first one was Thompson, who brought his brilliant left foot over here, and he was a really important guy for every free kicks, every situation, every crosses was very big quality, and especially also Henrik, he found his best form. I think the team was set up and played well, and now another guy came very strong, who brought good spirit and really good quality in the midfield. Was Lenny, who was really important moment also in the season. I think the coach knew always in the important period in the season, he knew to bring some new people who brought a lot of positive things in the team, and team was getting stronger and stronger.
Well, there are many moments of LUBO Moravcik magic at Celtic Park. Some before I arrived, a lot since I've arrived, a lot where he has changed the game with just one flash of brilliance. But I suppose the game that stands out for me is one that of vital importance to us, and it was his free kick goal against Motherwell when the game was heading for a 0-0 scoreline. We desperately needed the points to keep the gap against Rangers still there. It was a big moment for us. It was a big match for us at Celtic Park. We needed to win the game, and Moravcik just provided this moment of special magic that only LUBO can do. They lined the wall up. Do you know what? I got the feeling that night that Moravcik was so confident that it wouldn't have mattered whether they put 15 people in the wall, that he would have bent it. He would have found some way to have bent it round the wall and stick it in the net, and that was a real special moment. Fantastic goal from a fantastic player.
With great rivals Rangers fading into oblivion, the Hoops were in cruise control towards the title. And for LUBO, at the age of 35 and after 17 years as a professional, he was about to experience his first title win.
Their time has come. Their time is now. Celtic are champions of Scotland for only the second time in 13 years. Martin O'Neill has won the league in his first season. An amazing achievement. Just as he did at Leicester, O'Neill has turned an ordinary team into an extraordinary team. A team of winners. A team of title winners.
To win the championship, I think for me was really satisfaction about what I did a long time in football. I was just simply happy. Just say I was playing a long time in football. I'm playing still in football. I think was not for nothing. Was for maybe just one title, but I've got this one. I was very happy.
But for LUBO and his teammates, the celebrations were only just beginning. Typical of the showman he is, he scored the lone goal required to dispatch Hearts on the day the Bank of Scotland SPL trophy was presented in front of a packed Celtic Park.
Johnson. Larson in here. Presley covering him. Oh, he's put it into the path of Moravcik. 1-0 Celtic. 67 minutes gone. And Lubomir Moravcik follows the plan of action of Martin O'Neill. The substitute comes on, changes the fortunes for Celtic, shows them the way to go, calm as you like. And the Slovakian scores goal number 11 of the season. And he is invaluable to Celtic, and he's quite happy to stay on again and help Celtic in their bid for the Champions League. And that goal could seal win number 29 of the season.
This was the moment the fans had been waiting for, and the noise almost took the roof off. And the good times rolled on and on. 1 week later, with the SPL trophy now on show at Celtic Park, the team travelled to Ibrox for what can only be described as an afternoon of unbridled joy. And who had the biggest smile of all? You've guessed it.
Lennon's free kick. Larson into the path of Lubomir Moravcik. He's through and he's scored, and it's 1-0 to the champions, and it's little LUBO.
Well, Henrik Larsson does magnificently, and to hold it up under pressure from Bert Konteman, needed a bit of support. It came from Moravcik, who was prepared to get forward and help him, and from there on in he had the composure to pick his spot. Larsson holds it up, needs a bit of help here, gets it from Moravcik. Rangers just open up at the back, and Klaus is left exposed. A lot of work for Moravcik to do from here though, and head up as usual, just tucked it inside the right hand post, and really his first major contribution to the match, Celtic's first attempted goal, and a sweet moment for Martin O'Neill.
Maloney's flick. Oh, Moravcik's going to be in again here. Where are Rangers? Lubomir Moravcik. Is he going to get a second? You better believe he is. It's a double for Moravcik, and Celtic are heading for their first win over Rangers at Ibrox for 6.5 years.
I couldn't have showed any more composure in. Wonderful finish by a wonderful footballer. As the ball was played forward to young Maloney, it's a delightful flick on to release Moravcik. Checks back inside Rickson. Stefan Klaus probably expecting it to go back across him to the far post, and beating it his near side. A wonderful finish.
Here's Tugai. Oh, Tugai stumbled. McNamara slips it through. Henrik Larsson round the keeper. The angle's a bit acute, but that doesn't matter. He's done it. It's a fabulous 50 goals in a season for Henrik Larsson, and that is the perfect end to a perfect day in a perfect season.
Still a marvellous finishing, because the angle eventually does him no favours at all here. Tugai caught in possession, Jackie McNamara looking for a runner. Larsson shows enough composure to go round the keeper, tucks it away, and well, I think we've used all the adjectives for this man, Ian. And once again it's a special finish from a very special striker.
I think I did my duty to score in Ibrox, and obviously was also my dream to go to Ibrox and score a goal after when I scored the home game. But the second goal was something really more special than first goal. Second goal was something absolutely what I never thought about that. because I said 1 goal, now it's 1-0, maybe it's going to be 1 each, maybe, I don't know, but second goal was really, I was feeling relaxed. When I got ball, I absolutely confident, and I made a small dribbling for my right foot. I finished with, I was cool.
Well, I thought that day was set up for LUBO Moravcik, because we had won the championship. We wanted to go and show the world for a start that we had a very, very good side, that we were worthy champions, and wanted to show that we had players who could turn a game in an instant. And he was on show that day. The goals were just, I believe, the end product of a scintillating 45 minutes that he had. Marvellous football, but to know that when he's taking players on, and he sways right and pulls left, and then you know that move is not completed, that he's going to pull the ball back again, and we could all see it happening. And then perhaps even some of the Rangers defenders might have thought, well, is he going to drag it back again? But they could do absolutely nothing about it. And even though we knew in the bench, yes, listen, he's going to pull it back again, we knew this was coming up, but there was no one on Rangers side that day able to prevent that. And the goals were classic LUBO Moravcik goals, and goals, to be perfectly honest, conjured out of very, very little.
The stage was now set for a tilt at the club's first treble since season 68-69. Cup final opponents faced the Hoops just 3 weeks before the historic meeting at Hampden Park, and as a dress rehearsal, things just couldn't have gone better for the boys.
Now that was all about professional control and discipline. He might have been dispossessed once or twice in that run, but look how he finished that.
For Celtic, it's success after success after success. The CIS Cup, then the title, and now the Tennant Scottish Cup is theirs.
And so to the National Stadium for the Tennant Scottish Cup final. Bathed in a sea of green and white, Hampden was to witness a stunning performance from Martin O'Neill's men. At the same time, the Celtic supporters wondered if they were waving goodbye to a legend.
We had a determination to win this treble, because it's a pity to come to final and let go this chance for the treble, because we knew how long Celtic didn't win treble. I think this team deserved, because we work hard and deserve this success, and deserve really be one really important part of the history, the Celtic club. And I was really happy, even I couldn't finish the game because I had a little trouble with my knee, some cut in the training, but I was there really end of the game, and happy and really satisfied what we did whole season.
But they needn't have worried. A good wine, as they say, improves with age, just like the vintage Moravcik. And they can look forward to popping a few more corks in celebration as LUBO comes to the conclusion of his fabulous career. His relationship with the fans is unique, and it's one he treasures.
It's my personal pleasure after when I can make happy people in the stand. It's a good feeling. If crowd shout my name when I go to take a corner, it's a brilliant feeling. But it's something absolutely new for me, because I think even in Czechoslovakia, in France, both teams when I played, I think I was liked by people, because my football is, I think, really good spectacle, because I try to be effective, but also a little bit make happy people with some tricks.
There are two aspects to professional football. One is to entertain, without a doubt, but one is to entertain and also provide the winning formula as well too. And I think that is what he's been able to do, and I think that's why he is held again in such high esteem by the Celtic fans, that there's no finer sight if we're 2 or 3-0 in front than Lubo Moravcik displaying his skills. The great thing now, I believe, is that if we are 2 or 3 goals in front, the chances are that Lubo's done something to get us in that position in the first place.
So, with a new contract signed and a successful pre-season stint, Lubo hit the goals trail again. And what a way to start, with a spectacular strike and the triumph over the mighty Manchester United at a packed Old Trafford in Ryan Giggs' testimonial. An occasion made even richer for Lubo by the appearance of Eric Cantona, whom he played against in France and faced as an opposing captain with the Slovakian national team. And then the moment that clinched the Champions League dream. Ajax had been beaten on their home turf, and although the Hoops went down narrowly at home, the aggregate score was enough to go through to the group stages. And for Lubo, the ultimate challenge lay ahead. And just to get in the mood for those European nights, Lubo conjured up some more magical moments in the SPL.
Moravcik, he'll get a free kick again. Lambert, Moravcik. Oh, what a shot! Lubomir Moravcik, what a goal that was! Sensational! Oh, that came out of nothing there. I don't think anybody anticipated the little Slovakian unleashing a rocket. Look at this. It's like a missile into the roof of the net. Absolutely magnificent. 15 minutes gone. Celtic a goal up. And that is what the genius of Lubomir Moravcik is capable of. Even the manager in amazement at that goal.
Nicholson's first touch lets him down. He ends from the right, very straight to Moravcik, and he accepts the gift. Lubomir Moravcik. Well, that goal has been coming, and it was all down to the error by Marco Rottenbeck. Moravcik has all the skills to shoot from that distance, and when the goalkeeper's out of position, he doesn't miss. There's a splash from the goalkeeper, and that's the finish from Lubomir Moravcik. Baldu's long raking pass straight into the path of Moravcik, and he delivers it beyond Marco Rottenbeck. 2 goals for Lubomir Moravcik, and that's Celtic's third. There's the man who provided it, and the one who finished it. Baldi spotted Moravcik a good 30 yards
exhibition of striking.
Away from Celtic Park, Lubomir Moravcik enjoys life as a family man.
Unbelievable.
Like any dad, it's down to the local park for a kick around with his son. Yet when Lubo's Celtic career finishes, the club will lose two talents, because his son Matus plays for the boys' club. Already, he's a terrific player, learning his trade from his famous father. And who knows, one day he may return to don the famous green and white jersey.
He just tells me how to do tricks, and he tells me how to do crosses and what to do when a player's in front of me, and all kind of these stuff.
It's really a pleasure to go to play on the ground. Really, I'm every minute what I spend to play for Celtic, it's a really gift for me. I'm 36. I won a treble with Celtic. I played the Champions League. I couldn't ask for any more.